Hey guys, good afternoon and welcome to Friday. And fun day, right? Hopefully everyone's week is going well. I hope you guys are getting ready for the weekend. As I hope in your part of the country, certainly here in Arizona, the temperatures are certainly rising. And fortunately for us here in Phoenix, May, we actually had a nice record-breaking low temperature May month. And actually it was recorded as being the lowest temperature, average temperature May since 1998. So 21 years later we finally got a break in the temperature, but it was truly a pleasant one. Anyhow, we are starting to creep into the triple digits, and so that's definitely going to go ahead and make running in the mornings even earlier. So while I may not be able to escape the heat, I can certainly escape the sun, and well, that's definitely a plus. Anyhow, today's video, we're going to go ahead and I have found, by accident, what I consider the perfect last 6.2 mile training plan. That's right. We all, for those of us who are training for our first marathon, for those of us who ran one or two before, or a bunch, we all know that everyone's training plan has you running a long distance run anywhere from 16 miles, maybe up to 20 miles for the most part. However, nobody's training plan has you covering the last 6.2 miles. Well, just by chance, and this is by chance, I had come across a series of circumstances that helped me to discover that last 6.2 mile feeling without running the first 20. That's right. So today's video, I'm going to show you what I did to go ahead and reproduce the last 6.2 mile feeling or effect without having to put out the first 20 miles. Now, I must warn you, in today's day and age, I'm not providing medical advice. I am encouraging you that should you choose to exercise your own adaptation to this plan, please do so at your own caution. Be cautious about this, because this is going to go ahead and be relatively extreme or taxing on your body. So, in short, before I get together and start showing you what I have to show you via my Garmin data, sorry my watch is going nuts, let me tell you what happened. Okay, so I was on my way to my typical Thursday morning 7-mile run. Okay, that's fine. Well, unfortunately, for whatever reason, my alarm didn't go off on my phone, or I slept through it, but apparently it never went off, and so I didn't quite get up in time to go and do my morning run. It just so happened I had some things I had to do in the afternoon that really prevented me from still making up in the morning. So I decided I had a couple errands to run. I got home about noon on Thursday, and I decided, well, I could either just scratch Thursday's run or do it anyways. And I decided, well, let's go ahead and do this. But I remembered I had not eaten anything since dinner the night before, which was 7 p.m. And so now you figure I'm going on a good, 17-hour fast. So I'm like, well, let's go ahead and do this anyways. And in the back of the mind said, Mark, it's going to suck. Sure enough, it did suck. But it also helped me, once I got out there, it helped me realize this is exactly how much the last 6.2 miles do suck. And so I realized, wow, this is actually a good training plan. And so let's take a look at what happened. So first of all, what I've got up here is to let you know, to make this as apples to apples comparison as possible. The first run was on the 16th. The second run we're comparing is 2 days later. They're both exactly 7 miles, minus a couple hundredths of a mile. And ironically, and I certainly didn't quite plan it this way, both of them were ran at almost the same average pace. And as you can see, the average heart rate was significantly different. So, why is it important to bring this up? Because what I'm about to show you is going to help to illustrate that I didn't do anything more adverse over one run over the other. Does that make sense? I tried to make both runs as consistent as possible, so that this way you can see, I can see exactly how one minor or one major difference being lack of fuel per se really contributed to how those runs played out. Okay, now I do want to let you know that there is also a 20-degree temperature difference between the two runs as well. However, everything I've studied says 20 degrees is not going to really hinder you as much as this did. So going back to here, as we can see from the beginning, roughly same distance, roughly same pace, roughly same distance, and difference in heart rate. So to get started, we're going to start with the early run, the easy run. Okay, this would have been my May 18th run, this Saturday run. And you'll notice it was 70 degrees. And okay, fine, burnt 721 calories and 809. Now, typically, again, if I'm eating dinner, say at 7 o'clock, I'm running first thing in the morning, or you figure about 13 hours later, that's fine. So most importantly, it looks like I had, it was impacting, it was beneficial, but it wasn't exactly, kicking my butt. We look at my splits real quick, and outside this last one, because it always seems to register weird. If we look at my average pace, okay, relatively not bad. My average moving pace, okay, there's always a slight difference. But average heart rate, look at the average heart rate. I was right on track with making this a 155 heart rate run. I did a fantastic job with that, no questions asked. Yes, my strides were a little short because I was having some leg hip issues. And then, of course, my total calories was 721. Now, with that said, now we understand what this kind of run looks like. Now, let's look at my average moving pace so we understand normally how everything looks. Now, we're going to go to that Thursday run. Okay, obviously I spent a little bit more calories. 90 degrees, yes, I had a 20 mile an hour south by southwest tailwind for half of it going west, and then a headwind going east. So I think they kind of balance each other out. Anyhow, obviously cadence was looking a little better, but notice when you haven't eaten a while, now your body's burning more fat, you've got no choice. The training effect was highly different. Also, again, we'll get rid of the last one, that I don't really matter. But notice my average pace, average moving pace, relatively about the same. Again, because these numbers still add up. But notice the heart rate. I couldn't save a 155 heart rate to save my life. Well, I could have if I wanted to slow down here. But as you might imagine, sometimes your body just gets in its groove and it has to run its pace no matter what the heart says. And so yeah, you can see easily I was 5 beats per minute faster in my heart rate. Although my cadence was good, that's fine. The heart rate was higher. And again, I spent a little bit more extra calories. So, why do I share all this? Because what I just showed you was myself, you might say, on a 16 or 17 hour fast. And it's not so much I was specifically fasting this way, it's just the way my morning turned out. I really didn't eat nothing before I got going with my day. I came back, I didn't eat nothing before my run, and I figured, good fat burning run. Also, any one of us who've ever ran a marathon, we know you can goo gel yourself all day, all you want, you can Gatorade yourself all you want, but after mile 20, it's all upstairs. It's all upstairs because trying to consume enough calories during a run for most of us is extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult, and so that's where the whole fat burning kicks in. And in the last 6.2 miles, that's normally where we are going to go ahead and see our speed tank, and it becomes a real mental challenge just to keep moving. It really does. I'm sorry, I don't mean to ruin it for you if this is your first marathon, but yes, the last 6.2 miles, you're going to discover exactly what you're made of and who you are. I promise you that. But again, the purpose of this run was A, one, to get my Thursday run done, and B, I figured, let's just go ahead and see exactly what I had in me without having, you might say, immediate fuel reserves on board. And so, in addition to the wind, as a little extra stress, the temperature difference as extra stress, I went out there. and I went ahead and got a chance to experience that 6.2 mile misery during my 7-mile run, and I got a chance to experience all that without having to run the first 20. So, why does this matter? Why did I even bother doing this? Why did I bother making a video about this? Because, again, you can train whoever marathon training plan you want to follow. You can run a 16-mile max or a 20-mile max long run. Okay, yeah, depending on who you are. Me, I always have my little running hip pouch, so I carry my goo gels with me. I'm running with Gatorade during those types of runs. And so, yes, I'm maintaining some sort of active fuel ingestion during those runs. But the last 6.2 miles, when your tank is empty, and if you're not consuming it, you better be burning it off your hips or your stomach or wherever it comes from, because there's no way you can quickly get enough carbohydrates in your body to give you that easy feeling. The last 6.2 are always hard. And so I got a chance to experience that without the first 20. Why do I want to do this? Why? What's the purpose of the long runs? It's not the long runs, as most of us know, are not about doing long runs at marathon pace. That's not the case. It's about getting our body accustomed to being out there for hours running down the street. It's all about adaptation. And so if we could teach our body to get used to a 16-mile run or a 20-mile run, it's going to make it a whole lot easier to tolerate the last 6.2. And so it's all about adaptation. So when I did this given run, it was the same thing. So my personal feeling is this: as I continue through my marathon training, once, maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to go ahead and throw a run like this in. Why? Because I want my body and my brain to get accustomed to running under a state of misery. So this way, when misery does happen during those last 6.2 miles, I've already been used to it, which will allow me to help push through that a little easier. Now, so I wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys. I don't have anything more for you on that, but I will tell you this. Tomorrow being my Saturday long run, I did go ahead and pick up the new Garmin temp gauge, or temp monitor, or device, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to show you real quick. So with that said, now notice here, Garmin normally shows you my elevation, my pace, my heart rate, and my cadence. I tried this the other day. Now I strapped it onto my shoe just like I would my my cadence device that allows me to see my strides. And so I think this is the temperature. This is the temperature band. I think this here has a lot to do with the road temperature. Now you'll notice, so we know that I stopped here, that's after mile 1, so this is about mile 2. So you figure 2 miles into it is really only 88 degrees. No, I personally think maybe the device was just warming up, but you'll notice how quickly it kind of jumped as my run went on. Now, I know for a fact at 100 degrees 0.4, I know for a fact it was not that temperature outside, because when we come up here, Garmin says, oh, I was only running at 88 degrees. So this tells me that was the asphalt temperature. That was the asphalt temperature that I was picking up from that temp device connected to my shoe. And so with that said, what I'm going to do is on Saturday, the only reason that device was on my shoe was so that I didn't forget it. And so on Saturday, what I'm going to do is remove it from my shoe and just put it, attach it to my my CamelBak somewhere in the chest area. So this way I will know kind of, the temperature of the air I'm really breathing in, things like that. And I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys on with my Saturday long run to give you an idea as to, as another device to measure our metrics as far as training and things like that. Well, how much does temperature really play in? Is that going to cause, me to tank more as far as heart rate or speed, or exactly how is that going to play in? So we're going to go ahead and find out, and I want to go ahead and share that with you guys. So if you have any interest in, should you be running with a Garmin device, and B, should your Garmin device be adaptable to using that little temp device, which really looks just like their FootPod device for running, measuring your stride and your cadence. But at least give you an idea as to how temperature plays in, because for those of us who run marathons, maybe you're scouting out your next one, which I also share with you on Saturday, and we figured out, well, let's see, what's the elevation look like? What's the temperature in that city or state look like? Because obviously we know that plays into it. So this is going to give me, this gauge is going to give me some idea as to how my body handles various temperatures. So that's a little sneak preview as far as what I'm looking to go ahead and learn about on my Saturday run, and I'll cover with you then. Anyhow, I hope you liked today's video. If you did, go ahead and please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and please subscribe below. And I'll go ahead and periodically provide you with new training updates as things evolve with this next training cycle. If you have any questions or comments, please always leave them below, and I'll be certain to go and reply to everybody. Anyhow, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you later. Till then.